This is the moment a terrorist yanks up his cloak and reveals his kalashnikov before unleashing a deadly gun and suicide bomb massacre at a Catholic church in Pakistan. At least 9 people are dead and 56 wounded in the horrific attack claimed by ISIS on a Sunday service in Quetta city less than a week before Christmas. The terrorist can be seen approaching wearing a cloak. CCTV footage released by the police showed the attackers, both carrying guns, approaching the church gates. One of them is wearing a brown cape from which he produces the automatic rifle. His accomplice can then be seen following behind, and he appears to trip up before getting back on his feet. Meanwhile, the first gunman appears to be struggling to open the gate. But with help from the other terrorist, he manages to scramble over into the church's compound. The second militant is then let in. Worshippers sitting at tables outside the church are then seen running from the scene after spotting the killers. He then whips out his weapon as he approaches the gate. A second gunman wearing a suicide vest then follows behind. Christians sitting on chairs flee in terror as the gunmen storm the church compound. Police guards stationed at the church entrance and on its roof killed one of the bombers. But the second attacker detonated his explosives-filled vest outside the prayer hall just after Sunday services began, said Sarfraz Bugti, the provincial home minister. ISIS has claimed the attack, the group's AMAQ news agency said in an online statement, without providing any evidence for its claim. Officials have yet to confirm who is responsible. The bloody entrance to the Bethel Memorial Methodist Church. Dozens were injured in the suicide bomb and gun attack. Locals react after the attack at the church in Quetta, Pakistan. Interior of Christian church where suicide bomber killed 7 in Quetta, Pakistan. Police guards at the church exchanged fire with the attackers before they could enter the main sanctuary, said local police chief Moazzam Jah. He said the attackers clashed with security forces, with one assailant killed at the entrance while the other made it inside. There were nearly 400 people inside the church, Jah said. We killed one of them, and the other one exploded himself after police wounded him. Jah said the venue, Bethel Memorial Methodist Church, was on high alert as Christian places of worship were often targeted by Islamist extremists over Christmas. Armed police opened fire on the attackers. Pakistani security personnel were quickly on the scene. The church was on high alert before today's atrocity. Baluchistan has long been the scene of an insurgency by separatists fighting against the state to demand more of a share of the gas and mineral-rich region's resources. They also accused the central government of discrimination. The Taliban, Sunni Islamist militants and sectarian groups linked to al-Qaeda and the ISIS group also operate in the strategically important region, which borders Iran as well as Afghanistan. No one has claimed responsibility for today's horror attack. Pakistan's president and other senior officials condemned the attack. Hospital officials said 2 women were among the dead while another 5 women and 2 children were among the wounded. A young girl in a white dress sobbed as she recounted the attack to Geo television, saying many people around her were wounded. Akil Unyam, who was shot in his right arm, told the Associated Press he heard a blast in the middle of the service, followed by heavy gunfire. It was chaos. Bullets were hitting people inside the closed hall, he said. Seen after 2 suicide attackers opened fire inside a church in Pakistan, killing at least 5 and wounding multiple people. Dozens of Christians gathered outside a nearby hospital to protest the lack of security. A body is carried away from the murderous attack, victim of crash that killed 6. Jailed last year over 130 miles per hour. Cop chase Playboy girl fired after secret fling with one of UK's richest tycoons. Millionaire heir murdered ex-girlfriend and and burned her body in an incinerator. Navy's new £3.1 billion aircraft carrier needs repairs costing millions for leak. Electrician died after sitting on copper pipe while holding wire. Commuter chaos set to cripple Britain as freezing overnight fog hits the UK. Dozens of Christians gathered outside a nearby hospital to protest the lack of security. The violence has fueled concern about security for projects in the $57 billion China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a transport and energy link planned to run from western China to Pakistan's southern deepwater port of Gwadar. Pakistan has launched several military offensives over the last decade against the Islamist militants who want to install their own harsh brand of religion. Although beaten and dispersed, the militants have shown resilience to launch spectacular attacks. Earlier this month, 3 Taliban suicide bombers attacked an agriculture college in northwestern Peshawar city, killing 8 students and a guard.